What is the best survival food? And more importantly, what's the easiest way to make it? Today we're making pemmican. I'm Doug North from season 12 of the History Channel show Alone. If you're a fan of Alone, you probably know that we may bring a food item as one of our 10 items. While there's many options available to us, probably the most popular is pemmican, and with good reason. Historically, pemmican was created and used by the indigenous peoples in various parts of North America. And it's still made today because of its uncanny properties that make it the ideal survival food. What is it that makes pemmican so amazing as a survival food? First, it will keep without refrigeration for up to 1 to 5 years or more, depending on the storage method and the particular ingredients that are used. Second, it's also very calorically dense. This means, one, that you don't need to carry a ton of it into the backcountry, and two, it's a very good source of energy. Third, it also has a lot of protein in it, which is crucial for muscle repair, recovery, and endurance. Finally, the recipe is very flexible. Not only is it easy to make, but you can make it more sweet or more savory. To a large degree, it can really be adjusted to suit your tastes. The method I'm going to show you isn't the cheapest and it isn't the most traditional. What I can say is it's very easy. And if you have access to an online store such as Amazon.com, the ingredients can be at your doorstep in very short order. Let's go over the ingredients. First of all, we have beef tallow. The ingredients for the beef tallow consists of grass-fed beef tallow. That's it. We've got freeze-dried blueberries. The ingredients here are, as you might expect, blueberries. That's it. And finally, we have machaca. The ingredients of this are beef, water, and seasonings. The seasonings consist of sea salt, spices, and garlic, and that's it. So you see the recipe ingredients are very simple. The equipment we'll need to make the pemmican is also very simple. A very basic blender. You could probably get away with a mortar and pestle because we're using freeze-dried blueberries rather than simply dried blueberries. A heat source and a pot in order to heat up the beef tallow. A mixing bowl, a spatula is handy. A large container with a lid to let it set up in the fridge. And finally, for storage, some parchment paper. First thing we'll do is get the beef tallow over some flame in order to soften it up. This is going to need to saturate and cover all of the powdered beef and the blueberries. That's the secret to how it's able to stay preserved for so long without refrigeration. This is a 1 pound, 16 ounce. Okay. All right, we've got that lit. And we'll let that start to soften up. The next thing we can do is start to powder the freeze-dried blueberries. Let's try about, well, I'm thinking we might get away with all of it because this is going to make a very fine powder. So that is the full 6 ounces of freeze-dried blueberries. So there we have the blueberry powder. This actually looks like a perfect amount to go with the 16 ounces of beef. There is no exact ratio. You're going to do it to taste. So I may not use this entire thing. I may set some of it aside. Since I'm not sure I want to use all of that, I'm going to set some of this blueberry powder aside, maybe half of it. And now I'm going to open up the machaca. I will be using all of this. Let's start by blending just a portion of it. Okay, I'm going to transfer some of this mix to the bowl. Do the remainder of the machaca. I'm going to be doing some of the mixing with my hands, so I'm just going to put on these gloves. Our tallow is nice and liquefied here. I'm just going to start to drizzle that in, spreading it around. And we're going to start to work that through all of the powdered ingredients. Yep, it's clearly going to need a lot more. I think we're going to be able to put in almost all of the tallow. You want this stuff to be able to hold a shape on its own. And as you can see, it's starting to, but it's still very crumbly. So that tells us we're absolutely fine to add more beef tallow. Well, from the looks of the pemmican at this point, I think I'm going to use all of the 1 pound of beef tallow. So I think all of the ingredients used completely is going to work out perfectly. So I'm just going to put the last of the tallow into the pemmican mixture and give that a good stir. And that's looking very, very well saturated. I'm pretty well convinced that the remainder of the beef tallow is covering all of the dry ingredients. With the pemmican mixture all mixed now, it's time to decide on the form factor that you want the final product to take. Typically what I've done is I've taken a casserole dish like this, pressed the pemmican into it, put it in the refrigerator, and then after a couple hours, come out and cut it into bars. Just take those bars and wrap them up in wax paper or parchment paper, something like that. One of my books recommended something different, and that is to make the mixture into balls and to store them that way. This makes some sense to me in terms of preservation. If we make spheres out of the pemmican, we will maximize the volume while minimizing the exterior surface. So I'm going to give that a try this time, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, and we've made 9 good-sized pemmican balls out of that entire batch. I've given the pemmican balls a couple hours to stiffen up in the refrigerator, and as we can see, they're now very hard. I've pre-cut some parchment paper. I'm just going to put one in the middle and bundle it up like so. I don't have any twist ties, but I do have copper wire. I'm just going to give that a few wraps around the top and then twist it like so and trim it off. I could probably get rid of some of this excess parchment paper here just to make a tidier bundle. And there we have it. If you take all the total values and divide it by 9, which is how many pemmican balls I made, each one would have 560 calories, 38 grams of fat, 28 grams of protein, 870 milligrams of sodium, and some fiber, iron, and vitamin C. Some folks don't really enjoy the taste of just the straight pemmican. I think it's mostly a texture thing having to do with how much beef tallow is in it. You do have some options for cooking it. You can fry it as is, or you can use it as the basis for hash by frying it along with onions, potatoes, that sort of thing. Finally, it can also be used as the base for a stew by adding water, flour, potatoes, any other vegetables that you might have. Well, there you are, folks. Pemmican ready for the backcountry. If I can do it, you can do it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well. Leave any comments that you have down below, and I'll leave a full list of the ingredients as well as the nutritional information for each of these. Until next time, I'm Doug North. Take care.